What is up, people? Rebel Reviews here, and I just finished watching the first episode of The Mandalorian Season 2, and all I can say is, wow. Obviously, in this video, I'm going to be talking about some spoilers, so I warned you, but, I mean, by the picture, you got some spoilers, probably. That first episode, man, oh my goodness. They really did, they did us all a really big favor with that. I mean, Boba Fett in the first episode, come on now. I was blown away. I'm still blown away. I'm almost speechless right now. I really can't believe it. I can't believe they showed Boba Fett at the end. Okay, I'll start from the beginning. Alright. So, Mando. It opens up with him walking down. He's walking down some, alley. I think it's Lothal, but others think, I don't know, at first they thought it was Tatooine. I think it's Lothal. Obviously, it's not Tatooine because he ends up going to Tatooine later on. But, so he's walking down this alley, and he goes to Gor Koresh, and it's a Gamorrean fight, and he goes in there asking about Mandalorians. The guy says Tatooine has a Mandalorian. Right there, you're like, oh my gosh. They're already teasing Boba Fett at the beginning of the show. And then he goes, after beating the crap out of all them, he goes to Tatooine. Goes to the lady he was at in the first season that helped him with his ship in the first season. Goes to her, asks her about him, see if she knows a Mandalorian, and then she tells him she's never seen one, and then he asks about, what was the city called? I'm not sure if I remember what it was called exactly, but some city that it wasn't on the map anymore, like it wasn't there, I guess, on the Tatooine map anymore. So then he goes and he finds it on an old map, and he goes there and he walks into a bar, and he asks the bartender, where is a Mandalorian that lives here? I heard there's a Mandalorian that is here. And he asked him, or I think he asked him, what is a Mandalorian or something like that. And then he was like, someone who looks like me. And he says yeah, you can meet him. And then he looks over and he's standing in the doorway. And it's freaking some skinny dude in Boba Fett's armor. If you read any legends, which are now canon, I guess. Wait, no. It was the Aftermath series of Star Wars books that had this in it. It was Cobb Vanth got his Boba Fett's armor off some Jawas, which they confirmed in the first show. And so they show that kind of little backstory there, and obviously Mando wants his armor, or his people's armor, back. And then so they kind of get into a little argument. It looks like they're gonna have a little quick draw, see who wins, and obviously Mando would have won, but before they can draw their blasters, they get some rumbles in the town. It starts shaking a lot, and so they pause what they're doing and check, And as they go check, look outside, it is a freaking crate dragon going through the freaking sand. And it, excuse me, it is going under the sand. And it freaking jumps up and eats a freaking bantha right off the bat. Crazy first 20 minutes of the episode, first 30 minutes of the episode. And then they strike a deal saying, help me kill this crate dragon and they'll give you the armor back. So he says yes. And I'm thinking, okay, first of all, how are they going to kill this thing? This thing is freaking huge. Like, this crate dragon was massive. And so I guess they go to plan to... He shows him where it lives. Cobb Vanth in Boba Fett's armor shows him where it lives. And apparently it's an old Sarlacc pit, which is kind of cool. And apparently the crate dragon ate the Sarlacc out and now lives in its little like hole in kind of like a mountain. So they go and see where it lives, and then they see some... Sorry, it's like 3 a.m. in the morning because I stayed up so I could see the Mandalorian come out. So this video will probably be coming out. Well, I'll post it right after this, so maybe it'll be some of the first reviews on the Mando season 2 first episode. But anyway, so they go and they see where it lives, and they talk on the way to see where it lives. They meet some Tusken Raiders, and Mando talks to them like in the first season. But actually, before they meet the Tusken Raiders, they run into these those Tusken Raider dogs that are in episode 2 that Anakin slaughters with everyone, when he slaughters everyone in all the Tusken Raiders in episode 2. And so those dogs were like threatening him, but Mando knows how to speak Tusken Raider, so he calms the dogs down, and then Tusken Raider shows up from around the corner, kind of wondering what's going on. And so they start talking, and Cobb Vanth in the Boba Fett armor, he doesn't like the Sand People. He does not like them at all. Excuse me. Sorry. And so he doesn't want to talk to him. He thinks, they're savages, probably like most every other person on Tatooine, because they do raid people and stuff still. I mean, just because we've seen Mando be nice with them doesn't mean they're nice with our, so, because they raid Cobb Vanth's village, I guess, and that's why they don't like them and don't want to work with them. But anyway, but then the Tusken Raiders want the Krayt Dragon dead too, so they all have a common goal, so they all get together and team up. So it's the Tusken Raiders, Cobb Vanth's village, and Mando. They all team up and go out to try to kill this freaking massive Krayt Dragon. Just massive. Wait till you guys see it. It is massive, and it looks amazing too. They did an amazing job. I knew this season was gonna get a higher budget, and you can obviously tell right away the freaking Krayt Dragon was nuts, and it had a lot of screen time, so man, that episode looked amazing. So anyway, they go and they bait this Krayt Dragon with another bantha, and the bantha's sitting there, and then it doesn't want to eat the bantha, and it eats the Tusken Raider instead, which is kind of funny. Then goes back in its little cave and goes to sleep or whatever. And then they try something else, and they try to lower some bombs or bury some bombs and try to blow it up from underneath. So they try something else. Sorry, this camera's kind of giving me troubles. So they try doing it that way by blowing it up from underneath, because apparently the only weakness is the stomach. So they set some bombs up and they get ready to detonate it. And another side note, Boba Fett's armor looks bad ass. Like, it looks badass. It's all scraped up and dirty, and oh, it looks awesome. So they get it out and they blow it up. They get the job done. They blow it up from underneath, and it appears to be dead, but it is not dead. Mando knows it. Cobb Vanth knows it. It's not dead. It just kind of took the wind out of the crate dragon. So, and by the way, a crate dragon is the noise that not Boba Fett, old Ben Kenobi makes on Tatooine in episode 4. He makes the screech of a crate dragon, which is obviously why all the Tusken Raiders and everything are scared of it so much, because it's freaking massive and freaking crawls underneath the sand and just pops up and eats anyone at any time. So obviously they're all scared of it. And yeah, it's nuts. It is a crazy episode, and that's not even the half of it. So they do it. They blow it up, and they know it's just hurt a little bit. It's obviously not dead. And all of a sudden, I think that's when it comes up from another angle or something. Like, it went back under the sand, because there was a bunch of like dust that had to get cleared. They couldn't really see the crate dragon because they just blew up a big section. But it just pissed it off, basically. So the thing just got way more pissed, and they go and so it's like destroying everything, coming from everywhere, which way. You don't know where it's coming from, because it'll disappear under the sand for a little bit and pop up and eat a bunch of people. And when I say this thing's huge, it is huge. Like, huge. Bigger than a house. Like, it is massive. It would eat a house like it's nothing. So they can't kill it, obviously. And so there's a bunch more explosives on a bantha. So Mando is like, we gotta bait it. And it's cool because Mando and Cobb Vanth, they like jetpack off to try to like see if they can kill it on their own, because it's like way up high on a mountain, spitting like this acid stuff out. And like, so they go up there, and it's cool just seeing. But I mean, I know it's not Boba Fett, but it's his armor flying around. It's really cool. And so they're flying around doing that, and then they get back on the ground. They see the bantha that still has a bunch of explosives on it, and he's like, get its attention, And Cobb Vanth lowers the little, like, this little thing that I like, aimer type assistance thing, and fires the rocket on his jetpack at it, gets its attention, and Mando's just standing there holding the bantha with all the explosives, and the crate dragon jumps up and freaking eats Mando and the bantha. He eats Mando, and that is the end of the show. No, I'm just kidding. Obviously Mando can't die. So he eats Mando. I was like, what? And he disappears for a little bit. It's just silent. He went back under the sand. And then all of a sudden, huge explosion. And, or no, he pops up out of the sand again, opening his mouth, and all you see is like electricity coming out this Krayt Dragon's mouth. And then Mando just jets out of there, out of this thing's throat, and detonates all the explosives on the bantha that just got eaten, obviously, with Mando, and explodes the thing from the inside out. As he's jetting out of this thing's mouth, just electrocuted it from the inside. Like, Mando just took down this massive Krayt Dragon. Like, if you thought Mando was a badass in the first season, just wait. First episode of the second season trumps everything he did. If you just seen him do what he did in the second season first episode, you wouldn't even have to see anything from the first season to know he's a badass. Like, they really established him as probably, in my opinion, the most powerful non-force wielder, as far as we know, so far. Like, if like he doesn't have the force somehow, it's nuts. Like, he's incredible. He's nuts. And then after he defeats it, everyone feasts on the meat and they're all happy. The Tusken Raiders and the village people are all happy. It's kind of like that episode 3 in season 1 where they help the villagers out. So, like, they're all happy. People get along, They took down a beast. And he's going away with Boba's armor, because he got the armor since he helped him defeat the Krayt Dragon. So he's blasting off with his armor, right? And then who's looking over? I thought it was Obi-Wan at first. I was like, what? But then I was like, obviously Obi-Wan's not alive. And then, well, because he's wearing like a freaking, looks like a Jedi robe almost, but it's got a Tusken skiff on the back and a rifle, and he's watching Mando blast off from the Krayt Dragon death site with his armor, and it's freaking Boba Fett. Timor Morrison, or whatever, I'm not good at his pronouncing. I'm not even going to try it. It's Boba Fett. We see Boba Fett at the end of the freaking show. My mind was crazy. I was just mind blown. He's got a nasty scar, I'm guessing, from the Sarlacc across his face. A couple nasty scars. It was nuts. It was freaking nuts. My mind was blown. I had to make a video right away. With all my fresh thoughts. It was amazing, and it makes me wonder what they're gonna do next. I mean, they already showed Boba, so obviously Boba's gonna show up in episode 2 probably, and tell him something. Maybe that, I don't know if he never probably saw Yoda. I don't know, but I mean, Boba Fett knows everything. He's been around since episode 2. He knows the Jedi. He knows the Empire. He was around before the Empire was even a thing. His dad fought with freaking Dooku, and Mace Windu cut off his dad's head. And Luke Skywalker freaking sent him into the Sarlacc pit. So I'm guessing he's not going to be too happy to help out a Force-sensitive person and give him over to the Jedi. He probably wants revenge on the Jedi, is my guess. Especially Luke. And Mace Windu, if he doesn't yeah, he probably knows that Mace Windu's dead. What else do I think is going to happen? I think Mando's gonna get some more upgrades because obviously they need to sell some more toys. And man, I really thought Baby Yoda, well, the child, was gonna use force powers, his force abilities in this episode, but I'm kind of glad they kind of let Baby Yoda be like a side character for this episode. Like he was just kind of watching on the whole episode from the side. It was kind of cool because it was different. It was a lot of time with the Tusken Raiders and kind of just being in their village, preparing, talking to them. There's a lot of Tusken Raider dialogue, and it was awesome. It was freaking awesome. It felt like a little bit of episode 2 in there when they're at the village and the Tusken Raider dogs are walking around, and then freaking Cobb Vanth his speeder is a modified engine from a pod racer. Like what? He's just got it looks almost like Anakin's engine. He's just got a little seat on the side of it and it's just zooming along. Like it's nuts. It's just nuts. It's really nuts. It's awesome. But I kind of want to see that first planet that he was on when he seen Gor Koresh be Lothal, because I really want to see a live action Lothal and live action Ezra Bridger. Oh, that would be amazing. But I don't think we're going to get there quite yet. I don't think Ezra would show up in this season, to be honest. I think that's a season 3 type deal. I've been saying this for a while. I really don't think Ahsoka's going to show up till about the 6th episode, I think, and only have a minor role from there. That's what my best guess is. I really don't think they're going to have her in it too much, especially now that we know that Boba is in it. Obviously going to be probably going forward, if not a significant role, a minor role, because they brought him in on the first episode. They showed him at the end of the first episode. They showed his armor in the first frickin' 20 minutes of the show. So I don't think Ahsoka's going to be a major part of this. Probably just a little cameo. And then her role will be bigger in season 3. I mean, we kind of were told that already. But, man, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. Boba freaking Fett, man. The man, Boba Fett, is here. Oh my gosh. And it's Tiramu Morrison. Oh, reprising his role. Well, he never played Boba. I think he did the voice for him, actually, in some later versions of the OT. And I'm just so excited because, like, if he can come back as Boba, imagine, like, a Captain Rex live action. Oh my gosh. That, I almost would want to see a Captain Rex live action more than Sabine, to be honest. I really do like Sabine, but, I mean, I feel like Sabine, Bo-Katan, Ahsoka, Boba Fett, like, I'm a little worried it's going to take away from Mando. It's his show. I don't want Mando to be, overwhelmed with, other really popular, super popular characters. Like, if they introduce Ahsoka, I'm just going to want to be knowing what Ahsoka's doing, So, I hope they are careful with it, but I think, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, are geniuses. I mean, I've said that in previous videos. Like, I really admire them. They're, especially Dave Filoni. Like, Dave Filoni, if anyone gets Star Wars as much as George Lucas, it's Dave Filoni. Like, there's no question. He is the man when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, he knows everything about Star Wars. And I just think he can't do wrong. I mean, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx him, but I don't think he can do wrong. And seeing this first episode, it's freaking fantastic. It's amazing. I literally screamed like 4 times during this episode, like slapping the table, like, oh my gosh, Boba Fett's armor. Oh my gosh, a crate dragon. Oh my gosh, they're talking with sand people. There's a bunch of sand people. Oh my gosh, Mando just freaking killed a crate dragon single-handedly, basically. Oh my gosh, Boba Fett. And then it was over. Like, it was like boom, like constant. Your breath is just getting taken away. The whole episode. It was awesome. It really, really was awesome, and I can't wait to see what more is to come. I think too, if Ahsoka's in this season, which, I mean, I'm sure she will be, I hope she trains Mando how to use the Darksaber. That would be awesome. And that's another thing I like is this first episode, it kind of like went back. You know, the last episode of the first season was really intense and like really imperial presence in the episode, like a lot of imperial presence in the episode. And now with the first episode of the second season, it's more like back when, I mean, obviously because he's on Tatooine again, but the Tatooine episode, kind of like secluded, you know, no imperial presence, and it was really cool. I just love Tatooine. I mean, I think Tatooine's probably the best. It feels Star Wars, you know. Tatooine is probably the definition of Star Wars. If there's a planet that defines Star Wars, it's Tatooine, you know. So I love it. Some people are like, oh, we need new planets. We need new planets. Well, I like Tatooine. I like seeing a freaking crate dragon. Obviously, there's way more to explore on these planets that you guys are all sick of. So, yeah, planets are big, you know? So, those are my first thoughts on the first episode of Mando Season 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, go watch it. It's amazing.